the candy bar brownies. This is really, now I did make them from scratch, just like you see here. We're going to get a bowl here. I'm going to put my butter in. We need 3/4 of a cup of butter. All right, so now this one we're going to start with 2 cups of sugar. This is not for the faint-hearted. We're going to, let's see, what else are we going to put in here? We're going to put in our eggs, our 4 eggs, slightly beaten. Okay, so there's our eggs and our sugar and our butter. All right, so that's good. We're also going to put the vanilla in here. We're all in here and here. And our cocoa powder. And so basically we've got brownies. Okay. We've got 4 Snicker bars here to go inside, and we've got 3 Hershey bars to go on top. And if you just wanted to keep it really just chocolatey without the peanuts and all this other stuff that are in Snickers, you could certainly just chop up a couple of chocolate bars. I've got over here, we'll take a look at those in a few minutes. I wouldn't see why you couldn't. The only thing I would think of is, you know, some of this Snicker bar sort of melts into the brownie. If you're going to use like a M&M or something like that, it may not have the same chocolate. You're talking about like the mounds and things like that. Aren't they a harder crust on the outside? It's just the chocolate. If it is, yeah, then that would be a whole lot easier than chopping up the bars. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We got that all together. And our Hershey bars. So, why do I line my pans with aluminum foil? You're gonna laugh. Well, I line them because I like to use really nice baking pans. And I mean, this is a, I think I got this downstairs. Like to use them. Yeah, and if you've ever taken one of these with your brownies or whatever to church, and somebody gets one of these, and to cut them, and it's like, there goes your pan and it's ruined. So I always like to line them in foil for that reason. And also, when this is done, I'm just going to pick this right up, and it's so much easier to cut when you've got a flat sided thing rather. I can't pull it out now because it'll slop all over. But when it's all baked, it's going to be just brownie, and then you can spread the foil out, and it's a whole lot easier to cut than it is in the pan. I sprayed it. I did spray it. It a lot of times it doesn't, you know, and I use that for just about everything. Because it's so much easier. Plus, you know, it's a lot easier cleanup too. You don't have to, you know, now sometimes you get a hole in the foil and it leaks through, but for the most part your pan comes out clean, so it just needs to be kind of wiped out. And you don't have to, the only thing that I don't know if I can answer, because I think everybody's oven is different, that watch it with, you know, you have the dark pans, and we're putting the light aluminum foil in. So just kind of watch your baking time. It's really not going to adjust the baking time, but if you're doing the dark pan in directions, not cooking it as much as compared to the light pan, you may need to adjust it sort of back to the light. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Do you use glass pans? Do you use glass?
I do at home. I don't have any here. I don't use a whole lot of glass for just like baking brownies and things, and that's just personal preference. You know, if that's what you like to use, that's, you know, that's fine. My biggest thing is for using the foil is just it's much easier to cut. It's much easier to clean up. And that's what sometimes it's all about. And especially, you know, like I said, you don't know how many times you've taken a pan to church or whatever and somebody uses a knife on it. And they're just trying to be helpful, but... So I also do that for not only brownies, but cakes or whatever.
Since I've been coming to this class, I started doing that for everything. It makes it much easier to clean up.
It does. It's easier to clean up. You know, if you're going to be eco-friendly, maybe it's not the best because you're using the aluminum foil, but I like the cleanup. It's much easier to, you know, lift it out of the pan, to cut it, all that, and you know. And there was one other thing I was going to say about that. I forgot what it was.
Well, if I could be careful when you cut it and you're putting it on a pan to get it hot, flip over the tin foil and use it as a cup.
If you cut it on the, a lot of times, depending on the aluminum foil that you have, you know, this isn't the best heavy-duty stuff. And so when I cut it with a knife, it usually cuts the foil. So, you know. So, you know, that could be, but yeah, you know, to use it for that. And then, oh, I know what I was going to say. When you're putting the foil on the pan, you know, it's much easier to flip the pan over. I won't do it right now. And put the foil into the shape of a pan, then you flip the pan right side up and just drop the foil in. And then you're not fighting all the corners and all that with the foil. So, a little helpful hint. All right, we got our Hershey bars on here. We got our Snicker bar in here. It just needs to go in the oven. Okay. It's better if they're cold or cool when you cut them. Makes a nicer cut, especially with the brownies or with the Snickers in them, because you've got, because you've got a little bit of, you know, whatever in there, not just a plain brownie, morsel, whatever. So, because usually I will cut regular brownies. If you cut them with a plastic knife, you can cut them hot, but you know, these are a little bit harder to cut because it's got the pieces in it. All right, that's for you guys.